Oh, hello there. Hello there. So today we're going to be talking about setting. Setting it. One second. Setting is the environment in which your story takes place. I think I'm going to go somewhere better than this. Okay, this is a much better setting for me to be talking about setting in creative writing. So as I said earlier, setting is the environment in which your character or your story takes place. It can be the place, it can be made up, or it can be real. It can be the time, which again can be made up or real. This setting, this environment for your story sets the entire stage for a good creative writing assignment. When we think about setting, we should be using the 5 senses: our hearing, our seeing, our tasting, our smelling, and our feeling. We need to really think about what our environment for our characters looks, feels, tastes, smells like. This will allow the reader to really envision it in their head and see what you are trying to write about. Settings are very challenging to write, for sure. You need to use a lot of descriptive language, adjectives, metaphors, similes, but you also need to have a good imagination and be able to see the setting that you want your characters to be in. When we're talking about setting, we're also talking about the mood of your story. Now, this setting behind me, I don't know about you, but I would say that it's scary. So when I'm writing my story, my setting should match what is happening in it. Now in this story, this is a scary story with a vampire. Does that look like where a vampire would live? I think so. Now my job as the writer is to paint the picture around what I see, what I think it smells like, what I think it tastes like, what I think it feels like. This is where I get to really give the reader all of the information that I want them to have. And I do so using descriptive words. So when I talk about this setting behind me, I talk about the shrieking cold northern wind blowing down off the mountaintops. I talk about the darkened shadows in the forest and how the sun is setting and the shadows are growing longer and darker. I talk about the way that the trees with all their leaves have fallen on the forest floor and their branches extending like long fingers reaching out into the sky. I talk about the cold cobblestones below my feet and the crunching sound and how deathly quiet it is here, as if there are no living creatures anywhere to be found. I talk about the smell, the moldy, rotten smell of decaying vegetation, how it drifts through the air and you can almost taste it. All of these things that I'm doing are painting a picture for the reader. Descriptive words and really envisioning it yourself. Imagining you are standing there and you are feeling, seeing, hearing, smelling the things that you want your reader to experience. That is what we are talking about when we're talking about setting. It's not enough simply to write about your characters doing things. You also have to include where and when they are doing those. Now, this is kind of scary, so let's go to a nice setting. Oh, isn't that much better? I could talk about the lapping waves rushing up on the beach and the golden warmth of the sun. Whenever we write, we need to imagine the place and the time that we are writing about. And this all becomes very in-depth as we start to describe it using descriptive words. So I hope you enjoyed my video on setting. There is a presentation in Learn Lab that you can now work on, and I will challenge you with some questions in there. Have fun and enjoy writing.